people are starting to wake up to the idea that sound can actually heal you. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Spirit School. I'm seeing it featured on headlines like a Rolling Stone. Sound is the echo of the universe. As you are playing a certain frequency, depending on what hertz the frequency is, can affect your body for good or for worse. Yes, for worse. I'll get into that in a minute. Because our bodies are made of energy, right down to cell and then the atom, as you are playing a certain frequency, whether it's a tone or you're integrating into music, meditative music, or your songs, it is going to alter and affect the energy of the person that's listening to it. And even putting intention behind a certain song or a certain beat, that can also create vibration, cast a certain frequency around said song. The power of sound, y'all. During ancient times and even way before that, that's on recorded history, sound has the capability to lift an object. Go to my previous videos to see what I'm talking about. It's all in there. I know this to be true in terms of how it affects your energy because this is what I do during my sound healing sessions, for example.
I like to add a double effect during my energy healing sessions and use sound as well. Just adds more vibrations to the healing. You might not be able to tell, but I hit the bowl at a certain momentum to bring about a certain vibration frequency that her body needed and was tailored to the way her energetic flow was made up. The vibration and the frequency of the sound is helping to not only bring about more power, but to also help align and bring the energy back together. The frequency can do justice on its own, but it'll take it to another level when it's matching by the way it's being played with the person's energy signature. Sort of like a key unlocking a lock. When it's directly targeted like this, it makes the healing that much more powerful.
If you know how to play it, if you're channeling the energy, you're playing the frequencies a certain way, the person on the receiving end can feel it. There's been many times where clients afterwards would come up to me and tell me how they really felt the sound in their bodies and come to get the healing for this particular reason. Some people gravitate towards energy healing, but I have people that only connects with sound healing. So it all varies. It's really coming to mainstream now. And that's so fucking amazing because people are finally going to understand that what you're listening to will absolutely affect your energy. And there's certain frequencies that can be played that can rewire your system as well. This is why you have to be very careful with who and what you're listening to. Some people put music out there and sprinkle their juju on there. Some people put music out there and puts a certain frequency in it. I'm going to share this clip from the TMRO network. They do a lot of interviews with producers, and they did one with Teddy Riley. He talks about how changing the frequencies in his songs, the sine and the hertz, can alter the vibration, the feeling of the song.
With Rumshaker, in all of these songs, it's frequency. It's really frequency. It's really important about the key you put it in. And it's really no special key. It's just what feels great frequency-wise. Sine, you take a sine, you could put it through a song with the frequency. 432, everybody's in 441. But you could take a sine of 432 and put it really quiet in a song.
Right.
Because 432 makes life comfortable. I would take frequencies, and you can listen online. There's frequencies to stop you from smoking.
Yep.
Frequencies to make you cry, make you happy. So most of my frequencies are happy frequencies.
So that's the master. That's what I was saying. That's the blueprint to it, really, is the frequency. Because you're going into these records saying, I know how to disrupt. I know how to
corrupt. You could corrupt music, man, and make people go out and just beat each other up. For me, try most times to put a frequency in the track. So low, it's in there. You make it so low that that frequency is going to ring and it's going to make you feel some type of way. And that's what No Diggity did. And that's what Remember the Time and these records did.
432 hertz has to do with the heart chakra. He didn't mention 440 hertz. 440 hertz was created as a form of manipulation, brainwashing purposes. Check out this clip.
Our bodies absorb sound and frequencies through every pore. It's not just through our ears. The written words have a frequency that changes the structure of the water molecule. Imagine what lyrics do to our body. In the 1930s, the Rothschild-Rockefeller Alliance, they began funding scientific studies to look at how musical frequencies can prepare the masses for war. And that's because they wanted to control people. They want that mind control programming. And so in 1938, there was a gentleman named Harold Burroughs Meyer, and he was a theatrical designer and a sound engineer. And he began developing techniques that would control the emotional response of audiences and to create mass hysteria. You know, this Rockefeller-Rothschild alliance, what they were doing is not only were they looking at ways to steer the masses, but they wanted to change the standard tuning of A to 440 hertz. So in 1939, they began funding Joseph Goebbels, who was the Nazi propagandist. And at that time, Joseph Goebbels, he wanted to change the standard tuning of A. And so he organized a meeting in London to do that. Now, up until that time, the standard tuning of A was set at 435 hertz, and that was from a conference in Vienna in 1889. But they wanted to shift it to 440 hertz. And so Radio Berlin approached the British Standard Association and asked if they would organize this conference in London, which was a total setup in which, you know, the powers that be had control of what the outcome was going to be. And they didn't invite any of the French musicians because they were opposed to 440 hertz. And then the organizers of the conference, you know, they interviewed musicians, the instrument makers, the physicists, and then also the sound engineers. And if any of those people were against 440 hertz, then they weren't invited to the conference. Way. So it was all controlled. And, you know, as a result, it's not surprising that the standard tuning of A was changed to 440 hertz. And that happened June 1939, just months before World War II broke out. And the timing of that is no coincidence because 440 hertz is a destructive frequency. And that, you know, it can retrain our thoughts towards disharmony, disruption, and disunity.
As you can see, y'all, they wouldn't be changing the frequency of a note hertz if it didn't actually have an effect on people, because they know it does. You might already know that too. You'll come across some songs from artists that you, as soon as you hear it, suddenly your energy starts shifting. You start feeling a little more low vibrational. There's a reason. Frequencies absolutely has effect on the calibration of your energy and affect you at a cellular level. Different vibrations will alter it. It's also something to consider if you're trying to really heal yourself from a deeper level or a physical level. There's been studies that sound healing cured a lot of illnesses because illnesses stem from energetic vibration. As you go up in the higher dimensions, it's not just a consciousness that's being elevated. You're also going to hear frequencies and sounds, high-pitched frequencies, as you continue to go up and up and up and up and up into the ethers. It's the same thing as you travel out into space, into the universe. Y'all know I've been saying this for a minute, standing firmly, shouting that sound healing works as a form of entertainment, but it's also been used for healing. It's been used for teleportation. It's been used for opening gateways, portals. This is why also you see across the world megaliths that have been created so that the acoustics of the structure will resonate at a certain frequency to connect with higher dimensional beings. I love that the conversation around this topic, this awareness is starting to come into mainstream and people are starting to pay attention to it, because if there's one thing everyone in the world has in common is we all listen to some form of music. The more people become informed with the effects of frequencies, they'll start to become more selective of what they're listening to and only gravitate towards what's high vibrational.